Here we go. Hi, what's going on, YouTube? That caught me by surprise, y'all. What's going on, y'all? Thank y'all so much for joining me on my channel, JoJo Speaks, for this being our review for 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. This is season 8 and episode 2. Love
Yeah.
to see you guys in the comments already. I see Auntie Robin and Lady Virgo down there. I'll get you guys' comments in just a but first a couple of my channel. It's that big subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes a minute to match that video. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Also, be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the various couples that we'll be discussing on tonight's show. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. I got a couple of announcements really quickly. Prophetic Fire Reiki, aka my sister Jennifer Star McCullum, she will not be going live tonight. We just got back from our vacation this past weekend. Excuse me. And so her and Tyrone are on their way back to Atlanta as we speak. And so she won't be able to make it back in time to go live at 8 p.m. So no Prophetic Fire Reiki tonight. Also, be on the lookout for my review on Married to Medicine as well as Housewives of Potomac tomorrow. More than likely by the end of the day, I should have them up. So be on the lookout for those two videos. I will be putting those two up tomorrow, you guys. Dustin, how are you doing today?
Well, hanging in there. We had a rough weekend. Had some things happen while you was on vacation, but that's we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna push through it as always. And thanks to my whole entire team being there. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shout out to Dustin. Dustin put the first comment out here. Hello to Dustin. So glad that you are here with me, my brother. And then we have
Thank you.
Auntie Robin. Auntie Robin is in the building. Greetings, Auntie Robin. Auntie Robin
Mhm.
says, "Hi, Dustin. How's it going?"
It's going. It could be going better, but yeah, it could be going better, but it's going.
Absolutely. And then Auntie Robin also has another comment under here. Let me get this comment up here really quickly. And then she also says,
Mm-hmm.
good evening, Joe Nathan. Good evening, Auntie Robin. So glad that you are here, my love. So glad that you are here. Auntie Robin has another comment up here. Let me pull it up really quickly and see. She says, I actually wanted the show. Let me see. I actually wanted the show. Yes. You read that correctly. I watched the whole thing. Wow. I'm so glad you watched the whole thing, Auntie Robin, so you can give us some good feedback on the various couples that we're discussing on tonight. For me, this is shaping up to be probably one of my favorite seasons of 90 Day Fiance. Even though we're only 2 episodes in, I am really enjoying this season so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Auntie Robin also says, "Why am I commenting from the emergency room though? Oh no, it's Allison." She says it's Allison. Um, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you're in the emergency room, Auntie Robin. We'll be praying for your full
Yeah, get
recovery.
feeling better.
I
I
hope you
was
get better
get feeling
sooner than
better.
later. We have absolutely. Lady Virgo says, "Good evening to everyone." Good evening, Lady Virgo. So glad that you've joined us this evening. Hope that you are doing
Yeah.
well, my love. Hope that you are doing well. We got
Mm-hmm.
another comment from Auntie Robin here. Let me get this comment up here, you guys. Bear with me as
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading these comments, y'all. Auntie Robin always also says it's always something. I don't have my headphones, so let's see how this goes. Yeah, well, I'll try to be sure to speak loud and clear for you, Auntie Robin, so you can hear everything that is coming out of my mouth. And then we have Lady Virgo commenting again as well. She says, "JoJo Speaks, Dustin Butler. Good evening to you, fellas. Good evening to you, Lady
Good
Virgo. Once
evening.
again, I'm so glad that you have joined us for this review, my love. And I hope that you're watching as well. I hope that you're watching the season of 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days as well. It is a really good season, at least in my opinion so far.
Yes, it is.
Auntie Robin says hello to Lady Virgo. And then we have one more comment, and then I'm sorry, two more comments, and then we'll get this truck a rolling. Let me see. Let me pull up this comment here. There we go. Another comment from Lady Virgo. Let's see what it says here, you guys. And then Lady Virgo also says, also says to Auntie Robin, hey, Robin, prayers and well wishes that you feel better soon. Absolutely. Same from the both of us, myself and Dustin, Auntie Robin. I hope you feel better super
Yeah.
soon. Absolutely.
Hope so as
Let's
well. I know
see
how that go. I know how that
here.
feels. So I
Oh, we
hope
got
everything.
a lot of comments coming up here.
Hi, my man.
Mamir in the building. Hey, Mamir, what's going on? I'm so glad that you're here, my love. Mamir
Yeah,
says, good evening, JoJo and Dustin. Good evening, Mamir. It's
good
always a
evening,
pleasure to
everybody.
have you in the comment section, Mamir. Always a pleasure to have all of you guys, Auntie Robin and Lady Virgo. So glad that you girls have joined us on this evening. And then
Yes.
Mamir says, good evening to Lady Virgo. It's good to see you. I miss you. I miss you, sis. Always so great to see you guys. It's camaraderie in the comment section. Let's
Mm,
see. We got another comment from Lady Virgo. Let's
mm,
see here. And Lady Virgo says hey to Mamir. Hey sis. And then we have one more comment coming up, and then we will get things started, you guys. Thank you so much for your patience with me while I go through these comments. I actually have to take a picture of it with my phone so I can see it because Joe Nathan's eyesight is not too good. Mamir says,
mine
hi,
neither.
Auntie Robin. Oh no, emergency room. Sending prayers that everything is okay. Absolutely, Auntie Robin. We're all praying for you, my love.
Mhm.
So let's get this thing started. So I want to start with one of the newer couples that we've got here. We have Aviva, and Aviva is in a relationship with, let me pull it up, with Stig. Stig is, I think does he live in Morocco, I believe?
Morocco, yes, Morocco.
I can't remember exactly where Stig is from.
I think it's Morocco. Don't get me. Don't
Okay,
get don't.
Morocco. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for that. But yes,
yeah.
so Aviva is Right. Aviva is 26 years old. She seems like a nice girl. I think I might enjoy her. However, Aviva's auntie has also married someone from Morocco. She's going through a divorce right now. And Stig is an artist in Morocco. Apparently, according to Aviva, he's really big in that country and he apparently has a lot of fans. And Aviva's auntie said that she saw Stig at a performance. Someone sent her this video. Now, as old as Aviva's auntie is, and this is no shade to anyone who's of a certain age, but it surprised me that she would have someone texting or sending her information about a performance that Stig was doing in Morocco. Apparently,
Mm,
this during this performance, he has a song with a female's name, and he was saying how much he loved her. And apparently, the song that the female was about, that particular female, was at the show. And Aviva's auntie found out that Stig and this other woman were doing some things. I personally don't believe that to be true, and that's just in my personal opinion. Aviva seems to
I
have a
don't
good
either.
head on her shoulders, so I'm assuming that I'm going to enjoy her on this season. I don't know just yet. I don't want to say whether I like her or not just yet. She hasn't given me enough information or enough camera time to make my decision as to whether I do actually like her or not. However, I'm hoping
No, we'll have to wait till
that
next week
her
to
and
find
Stig's
out because
relationship
I don't.
works out great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dustin, what are your thoughts on Aviva and Stig so far? Because me personally, I really can't make a decision whether I like them or not. He seems to be a nice guy, but when it comes to these artists, it can get into some murky waters. So what are your expectations going forward with Aviva and
Yeah.
Stig, Dustin?
Yeah. I don't know what to think. I don't want to. My opinion. I don't really have it. I don't know what to think. I'm going to find out next week. I don't want to make a. I don't want to make an assumption. I need to see more, Jonathan. I agree with that one. Need to see more of it. Yeah.
Exactly. We got Lady Virgo with another comment up here. Lady Virgo, we'll get to your comment here in a moment. So
Mhm.
Lady Virgo says to Mamir, I miss you too, sis. My flu came back. Oh no. I thought I was good or I never fully recovered like I thought. I hope you feel better super soon, Lady Virgo. We're all praying for you, my love. Praying for Lady Virgo
Mm.
and Auntie Robin out here. But yeah, as far as Aviva and Stig are concerned, Stig seems like he might give Aviva a little bit of trouble. I'm hoping that he treats her right, but when it comes to these 90-day fiance couples, there's nothing for sure at all. So
I don't get my hopes up too high, Jonathan, because I know how this thing turns out. So
right,
I
and
want,
I don't get
I want.
my hopes too high either. So let's move on to Forrest and Sheena. So Forrest is on his way to Sheena's country. Let's see here. I believe she's from the Philippines. Yes. So Sheena is in the Philippines. So Forrest is going to the Philippines with his mother and his stepfather. And he's going to finally see Sheena in person, and we as an audience finally get to see Sheena in person ourselves. And in the first episode, I was thinking Sheena was going to be a younger girl. I thought that was my assumption, but we see Sheena is actually 40 years old. She's a veterinarian, she's a doctor. So she has a really good job. And so this whole storyline about Sheena's parents taking her money, something tells me that may not necessarily be true, because when
Mm,
Sheena was explaining the whole money situation, she didn't mention her parents at all, which was very surprising to me, which is the reason why Forrest and Forrest's mother, who sent Sheena some very explicit text messages saying that Forrest needs to leave her behind. It makes me seem it makes it seem like the whole story about Sheena's parents seems to be a little bit murky. But I fully understand why Forrest's mother has some reservations about Sheena. This is a woman who lives in a completely different country, and Forrest has also been scammed in the past. With another woman from a different country as well. He said that he went out and visited the woman. She took all of his money and he didn't hear from her again. Lady Virgo says down in the comments, thanks so much, you guys. I'm always so appreciative of the well wishes. You're very welcome, Lady Virgo. You know we love you, girl. And
love you
so
very
I'm
much,
so glad.
Virgo. Mm,
Absolutely. I'm so glad that Forrest has his mother with him. And I understand why she's so apprehensive about trusting Sheena, because Sheena has been shown to be a liar. And for Sheena to be 40 years old and still telling these like childlike lies, to me, that makes me feel as though she may have some more maturing to do. And maybe that might be the reason why found herself in a relationship with Forrest. Maybe they might be on the same level in a way. I love the fact, though, that Forrest's stepfather is giving Sheena a little bit of grace. I love the fact that there's a little bit of a balance between Forrest's mother and his stepfather. That Forrest's mother is completely against Sheena, seemingly, whereas his stepfather is like, why don't we give her a chance? Let her, say whatever it is that she has to say. Forrest's mother is also looking forward to getting in contact with Sheena's parents. And I'm not sure exactly how that's going to go, because
mm,
Forrest's mother is a big mama bear. She's very
sure.
protective over Forrest. And with all of these accusations of Sheena's parents taking all of Sheena's money and the money that Forrest has put aside for both
Mm,
he and Sheena, and apparently Sheena's parents allegedly taking that money from them, I know Forrest's mother is going to go full speed ahead with this confrontation with Sheena's parents, if that does happen, because I have a feeling that we may never see Sheena's parents on this show. But who
no, I
knows if
don't
that's
think.
actually
I don't think
going?
we are either.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think
But
we are.
who knows if
Mm.
that's going to happen? But Dustin, what are your thoughts on Sheena? She seems to have a good head on her shoulders, and it seems like she
I
does
like
have true feelings for Forrest.
I like Sheena so far, but like I said, I got to see more of. I got to see more of her before I make a final decision. But so far, I like her so far, and I'm hoping that as long as these people are happy, that all matters to me, Jonathan. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. I think Sheena, I think once we see Sheena and Forrest together, like in the same room, I think it's going to make more sense to us as an audience why they
Mm-hmm.
actually might be together. Because it seems like Sheena is on the same kind of awkward side of things. And that's not to say that that's a bad thing, because, if you are an awkward person just in general, then that's part of
That's
your
you. That's you.
Yeah, exactly. That's you. I
Mhm,
really do like Forrest. Like he seems like a great guy. I love his personality. I love that he sort of kind of wears his heart on his sleeves at all times. That could be an amalgamation of his ADHD and his autism, but I love that fact
mhm,
about him. It doesn't seem like he's keeping anything away. It doesn't seem like he has to lie about anything. So I do love Forrest and his
mm,
awkwardness, and I think it's it's a little bit cute, at least in my
uh,
opinion. I'm not necessarily attracted to Forrest myself, but I like his mannerisms and I like the way that he presents himself
mhm,
to us as an
mhm.
audience. And I do like Sheena. Once again, I feel like Sheena does have a good head on her shoulders. I think I'm
Yes.
going to like her. I do think, like, just from the outside looking in, from what we've seen of Sheena thus far, I think she
Mm,
might be a good fit for Forrest. And I'm excited to see where their relationship goes. And I just
right.
hope that Forrest's mother does not overstep her bounds. Like,
I
I
hope for the
understand
best.
that,
I hope for the
right,
best, and
exactly.
see
And
what happens.
I get that Forrest has his disabilities. However, at the end of the day, you've got to allow Forrest to be an adult and make decisions on his own. And if he's going to get his heart broken, you have to allow him to get his heart broken. Of course, we want to try to
Mm,
avoid that at all costs, especially since it's happened to Forrest in the past.
okay.
I do trust Sheena, at least at this point. I do trust Sheena, and I think she has great intentions for Forrest. I think both of them are just looking for love, looking for good, genuine love. And I hope that they
Mm,
both find it in one another. I think that they would make a cute couple. I really do. And I'm really excited to see where it goes from there. So let's move on to Rick and Trisha. So Rick finally
mm,
makes it over to Madagascar. Now, before he gets to Madagascar, he does let us, the audience, know that something happened against Trisha during the time that she was ghosting him. And he said that he hopes that Trisha forgives him. And that leads me to believe that he stepped out on Trisha. That's just my assumption. I'm not saying that
mm.
that's what definitely happened. I'm hoping that we'll find out on the next episode what it is that he actually has to reveal to Trisha. But that was my first thought when he said, I hope Trisha forgives me. Dustin, what do you think it might be that he did while she was ghosting him? What do you think it is?
I think he might have cheated on her. That's just my allegedly. But
Yeah,
I think I get the feeling that he's already could have been with somebody else. But why they wasn't talking, I don't know,
right,
Jonathan. But this is
right.
how I feel today, and I don't get a good feeling from. I don't get a good feeling from this couple,
Why
and
is
from what
that?
I seen and what I seen last week is it proves it to me. I just haven't had a chance to send it to Jonathan yet, but I'm going to probably after this live because there's something going. He's actually under investigation for something right now.
What?
So I can't. I'm not gonna say it on live, but I'm gonna send it to Jonathan if I get the chance. But
I cannot wait to see that, Dustin. Oh my goodness.
one of these couples are in big trouble. So, yeah, hmm yeah,
Wow. But
with the
I will
law,
say though,
yeah, with the
yeah,
law.
I will say though that I love the anticipation that Rick was feeling as he was
Mm-hmm.
getting closer and closer to meeting Trisha finally in person for the first time. Trisha was also
Yeah.
very excited to see Rick. She said she couldn't wait to feel on all of his muscles. And Rick has a
Mm-hmm.
great body. Like for a 52-year-old man, Rick is built amazingly. Now, excuse me, I know I mentioned this in the previous review. I'm wondering
Mm-hmm.
if they're going to bring up the topic of Rick's sexuality because
Mm-hmm.
I know I noticed it the first time that I saw him. I showed it to my mom, and before he even opened his mouth, my mom was like, "Yeah, it seems like he might be part of the LGBTQIA plus community." And if he's not,
Mm-hmm.
so be it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just and of course, at the very end of the day, his sexuality is practically none of our business. But I am nosy, and when you do put yourself on television, you open yourself
Mm-hmm.
up to those types of questions. And if
Mm-hmm.
he's not part of the LGBTQIA plus community, so be it. That's what it is. It's just that that's what I saw the first time that I saw Rick. Auntie Robin says, I think he got with someone else, and there's an oops baby on On the way. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well, Auntie Robin. Because I really can't think of anything else that
Mm,
he would have to apologize to Trisha for. But I thought it was so cute when
mm,
Trisha and Rick met up at the airport. Trisha actually hopped out of her sandals and ran into Rick's arms. Rick was really saying all the right things, all the perfect things that you would expect a man to say to a woman when he meets her for the first time after they've been dating online. And to
yeah.
me, it seemed kind of performative, at least in my opinion. It didn't seem necessarily natural to me. Now, they
Mm,
did end up, having coitus. They did end up hooking up on the first night.
yes.
Rick was really excited about that. And once again, like, I don't know if he's just telling the audience this because he wants us to believe this is who he is, or if
Sure.
this is actually who he is. And I'm assuming that maybe I don't know. I'm so on the fence about this. But
Mm-hmm.
if he is truly into Trisha, I got a better feeling for Trisha on
Yeah.
this second episode. Um, Now, the thing with her ex-boyfriend, I'm not exactly sure if they're done for real, for real.
No, no,
I'm still
I
on.
don't think I don't think they are. Hmm.
Yeah,
I don't
it
think they
doesn't
are.
seem it doesn't seem to me like she's done with him either, because the way that she was speaking of him, although he cheated on her, she seems to still have a little bit of feeling for him. But we'll see
Sure.
what happens when it comes to
Mm,
that later on. But I
yeah.
do like Rick. I love his personality. I love that he's always smiling. I love that he's so jovial all of the time. It's so great to see that. A lot of people would say that about me if they knew me personally, that I like to, at least show great countenance as often as possible. So I do love that about Rick. Trisha
Mm,
in the next episode is going to reveal something about the time that she had ghosted Rick. And
mm,
she said that she hopes that he will be okay with it, or I don't know if she said necessarily the actual words. I hope that you will forgive me, but she said something along those lines in the preview for the next episode when she
mm,
explains exactly what she was doing while she had ghosted Rick. So we'll see what happens with them on the next episode. Right now, Rick and Trisha are probably one of my favorite couples so far. I do like
mm,
them a lot, but I think it's time for us to get to my favorite couple, which is Emma and Ziad. And thank you so much last week for correcting me on the pronunciation of his name,
mhm,
Ziad.
yeah.
Um, so Emma and Ziad do not seem to be on the same page as far as what their plans are on what they're going to do together while they are in his home country. Once again, I can't remember exactly what country he's in, but she is, well, actually, I can actually see he's in Morocco. Okay, so
Mm,
Ziad
mm,
is in Morocco. I just looked at the picture and I saw. So while Emma and Ziad are in Morocco, they were going back and forth when she first got there about the fact that she didn't want it, that she wanted to kiss him, and he didn't want to show affection in public. And then Emma says the words, I want him to, I want to ask him, what do you think of my breast? And it's like, is that one of the first things you want to say to someone that you've been dating for a little while online and you're just meeting them for the first time? Like, it's clear that sex is on Emma's mind, like first and
mm,
foremost, it seems like. And Ziad brought that up to her. It seems like he said to Emma, it seems like you're more worried about sex than you are love. And Emma
mm.
says, no, that's not true. But I think Ziad hit the nail on the head when he said that it seems like Emma is more interested in sex than love. Dustin, what is your opinion on that? Do you think Emma is more interested in having sex with Ziad as opposed to actually falling in love with him, even though she says she's
Yes, I
already in
do.
love with him?
Yes, I do. I think that she's more interested in having, yeah, the word that we just said, sex on it. But I think she's. I just think she wants to do what she wants, and I don't think she's really in love with him, to be honest with you. But we're gonna wait and see.
Wow.
'Cause I don't think she. Mm-mm. I get a lot of red flags from this couple here. You know, it goes off in my head, Jonathan. I can see it. I feel it. I don't think this is gonna last. Mm-mm. Okay.
What makes you say that you don't think that Emma is actually in love with Ziad? What makes
Because
you
of
think?
the way she goes on, the way she acts, the way she I don't like the way she acts on camera. I don't like
You
the way
know,
she.
the thing that I love about Ziad and Emma's relationship is Ziad knows how to handle Emma. Whenever Emma, gets out of control or
Mm,
goes off the handle, Ziad handles it very well. He doesn't let it get to him, and it doesn't affect him. A lot of times, when some people, I was going to say women, but men do it too. When some people like to go off the handle on their partner to get a reaction out of them, and
mm,
that partner doesn't give them that reaction that they're looking for, that's what I love to see. Now,
mm,
one thing that I do need to address here, Ziad seems to be sending mixed signals to Emma. They discussed,
yeah.
kissing and hugging when they first met, and Ziad didn't want to do that, and he said, "Respect my religion, respect my culture." And Emma's like, he's never said this before, which I do believe that when Emma says that, I do believe her. That's one thing about Emma that I am getting a handle on, is that Emma does not seem to be lying about anything necessarily, and at least not anything big. Whereas Ziad,
Mm,
when she was on the phone at the beach and she was like, "Well, what are we going to do on our first day?" And she said, "I want to do everything." And Ziad didn't agree necessarily with Emma. He just was like, "Okay." He didn't reject her. She didn't reject her advances either. So he
mm,
sort of kind of left it up in the air. So for her to say that, because Ziad actually revealed to Emma that they're not having sex before they get married. And I have a feeling that they've had this conversation before filming. And something tells me that Ziad did tell Emma that they would have sex before marriage. And I have a feeling that if Ziad had told Emma that they would not be having sex before marriage, that they would not be on the show and they would not still be in a relationship,
mm,
because it's obvious how important sex is to Emma. And so
yeah.
what do you think
What
is
what what's
behind
what
Ziad's mixed
what's
messages?
I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with his religion, Jonathan.
Right.
I think that, and that's okay because people have a right to follow their religion, and that don't bother me. I'm just saying,
Exactly.
it don't bother me, but people do what they gotta do, and that's okay. We're just conversation about a show, and that's my opinion about it. I don't have any problems with people in the religions, but that's what they want to do. They can go ahead and do it. You know.
Right. My issue is, if that's your religion, so be it. I can respect that.
All
However,
right.
when you're sending me mixed messages and I'm suggesting that we do certain things and you're not saying yes or no, I'm going to look for a direct answer, me personally,
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
because I'm going to
That's what
want
I.
to
That's what I
go
was
ahead,
gonna.
Justin.
That's what I was gonna about to say. I want a direct answer why you're not doing it. I don't want to say well it's your religion, but that's how it makes me feel with Emma. I think that he's just saying, well, I can't do it because of my religion. Well, say the reason why you can't do it and continue on, but don't sit there and try to put her put her in a situation to where she feels uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Because
Right. It seems
I would be the same way. I don't want to feel uncomfortable around somebody either. So, if you don't want to do it, then tell me you don't want to do it and tell me the reason why. 'Cause-
exactly. Because, see, my thing is, I'm seeing Ziad on the same level of religion as we saw Sunny on a previous season of 90 Day Fiance,
yes,
which,
I remember that.
oh my
I remember
goodness,
that.
one of the most beautiful men, maybe besides Sarper. Sarper is the number one man that I've ever seen on 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah,
But Sunny, oh my goodness, his face and his eyes, like, he is religious, but he's maybe not necessarily that strict on his religion. And I sort of kind
mm,
of saw Ziad in the same way. However, the way Ziad is acting right now, it seems like he is more devoted to his religion than we or Emma thought he initially was. And so
sure,
I just want Ziad to be truthful with Emma. If Emma, I think Ziad's conversation and his responses to Emma are to make Emma okay or happy in the moment, but
sure.
that's not going to help us a couple months down the line if we're
Mhm.
still not having sex. Now I'm glad that
Well,
Ziad didn't.
like I always say, Jonathan, I don't want people to get married and be miserable because life is already short enough as it is. So if you're not happy, then you don't do. If you're not happy, because I want everybody to be happy, Jonathan. Everybody, that don't deserve. I don't want to be miserable for the rest of my life either. So I don't expect anybody else to be miserable. But if you're happy, so be it. If you're not, get out of there. Uh, that's the truth. That's how I feel tonight. Sorry about that. I'm very
Oh, no,
blunt
no,
tonight.
no.
Very blunt on
It's
how I
okay,
feel.
Dustin. I love your bluntness. It's refreshing. But yeah, I just want Ziad to be straightforward and upfront with Emma and let her know. I'm so glad that he let her know on this episode that they won't be having sex before marriage. And I don't
Right.
know how this is going to go for the rest of the season. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if Emma's going to kind of back off of Ziad a little bit because we know that sex is very important to Emma, or it seems to be. We don't know it for sure, but sex
Right.
seems to be a big topic, and
Sure.
very important to Emma at this point, with as
Mm-hmm.
much as she's been talking about it and referencing it since we've seen her since the first episode. So I
Mm-hmm.
hope that they're able to work things out, but I do love the
Yes.
fact that Ziad doesn't react to Emma every time that she blows up on him. I'm glad that he
Mm-hmm.
just lets it roll off of his back. So once again,
Yes.
I'm really, really enjoying this season of 90 Day Fiance. As I told
Yeah.
Dustin a little bit earlier, I think this is going to be one of my favorite seasons of 90 Day Fiance that I've seen thus far. I
Yes.
do like.
This,
There's
this
no
show this
couples
show
on
this,
here.
this show is one of my favorites that we covered because it's a different level, so it's a lot more easier
Right. Yeah.
to
And
cover.
there are no people on here that I don't necessarily like here. I do like almost all of the participants on the show thus far. Now we still have,
Mhm.
I think, two other couples that we have to meet later on
Okay.
down the line. So we'll see how long that goes on. But I'm so excited about reviewing the rest of the
Mhm.
season. So before we
Yes.
get out of here, Dustin, why don't you share with the people your social media contacts real quick?
My social media contacts are Dustin Butler 700, and my that's my Instagram. My Facebook is Dustin Butler. And I always want to thank Jonathan and my whole entire team for being here as always. And Jennifer, get home safely, and I love you very much. And Tyrone, same thing. Yeah, everybody stays in, keep my family in repairs. We're going through a lot of changes right now, so thank you
Okay.
very much. I'm
We
going through a
definitely
lot
will,
of
Dustin, for sure.
sure.
We love you so much, Dustin.
Love
You
you
guys
very
can
much.
follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Jojo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $ Jonathan Lee 07. That's $ JONATHANLEE 07. Once again, Prophetic Fire Reiki will not be going live at 8 p.m. tonight. Once again, Jennifer and Tyrone are currently on their way back to Atlanta as we speak.
Mm.
And so she won't be able to make it back in time to go live at 8 p.m. So don't be on the lookout for her video because she will not be going live, you guys. Be sure to join me on Thursday night at 8 p.m. for my live Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. We always have a great time there on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. And also be on the lookout for my Married to Medicine and Housewives of Potomac reviews that will be going up sometime by the end of the day tomorrow. I love you guys
Yes,
for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, same beautiful
beautiful
faces.
faces.
Love you guys for watching. Have a safe week, you guys. Bye,
Have a safe
y'all.
one.